Hey Sal, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Dave?
What are you doing here?
I hang out at radio towers all over the state, so
Me
it,
too. I was on the other side of the globe, and I just that's so cool that you're here. I love that.
it really is.
Hey
Well,
everybody, we got four people watching right now. You're watching us live, Sal and Dave. This is 15-minute marketing, and if you notice right up there, we are going to stick to that timer because we hate people that go long and don't really give you the facts. What are we
so what are we
talking
talking
about?
about today, Dave?
Oh, well, I was just going to ask you. We're talking about Clubhouse. It is the latest, as it says right down here, the latest social media audio platform to hit the world. What are they up to? How many numbers now?
They're right now they're at 10 million users, which is really exceptional because in January they were at 2 million. So it's growing in leaps and bounds.
And that's when I joined. I joined January 15th. So let's get into it. It was about a million in October, November, December. So it's crazy. So what is
Officially
Clubhouse?
launched April 2020.
Yeah, so it's 1 year anniversary. It's still in its new phase. If you're not on Clubhouse, you got to get on Clubhouse. That's just where it's at. Um, Currently, Clubhouse is only available for iOS users. That means iPhones. They are working on the Android version right now. That's what's happening. And just a little housekeeping here. The bathrooms are to the right. I have 10 invites, and if you are on an iPhone and you
It's
want
the
to
only way to
figure
get
out,
on, right?
it's the only way to get on. You have to be invited. You can download the app from the iTunes store, the App Store, and set up your profile and your name and your at symbol and your name, but you can't actually get in. You're just set up so you can claim your name, but you have to be invited. So I have 10 invites, and Clubhouse gives
I've got a
me a
couple
couple
too,
invites
so
every 2 weeks.
yeah, so I've got some invites too. So if you're interested in getting onto this platform, email Dave or myself, and we will try to get those out on a first come, first serve basis.
Absolutely. And by the way, leave a comment. If you have questions, we'll answer them right now. It'll show up right on the screen. Right now, we have nobody, but if you leave a comment, we will read it. All right, well, let's
So
get into
so
this, Sal.
yeah, so Clubhouse is it's kind of like an interactive podcast with audience participation. Um, Cross between it's been called a cross between TED Talk and a podcast. So people go on Clubhouse. They open a room. They start talking about their topic. You can join that room while they're doing that talk, and you can raise your hand and ask questions. So it's very interactive, and it kind of puts podcasts by the by because it's back and forth. You could be part of the podcast.
That's really a game changer, yeah. So I look at it as a university. Clubhouse is like you going to a college and you're walking through the hallway. In every room, you're looking at every room is a radio station. And it's a radio station that has a very specific topic that they're talking about inside that room. And you could just open the door, you don't interrupt anybody, and you just show up, and your profile shows up in the audience. It's laid out kind of like Hollywood Squares. It's like everyone's got their circular profile. They're all like thrown in there, and you're at the bottom, and you'll see people come in and come out. That's what's great about it. So there is three types of people in the room. When you come in, you're the audience. Then there's the stage, which has the other two types of people: the speaker, the person who set up the room and is giving the talk, and the moderator. And the moderator has a little green star underneath them. I don't want to get into the details of why, but the moderator helps people come up on stage and says, "Hey, I just noticed, Dave England is there. Raise your hand, come on up on stage if you have something to say." That way, the moderator takes over all the housekeeping stuff, brings people on, puts them back in the audience, resets the room. Every 11 minutes, you should reset the room. That's the average amount of time that new people come in and come out. And then the last person, the last of the three, is the actual speaker themselves. Sometimes they're just doing a Q&A and they're just shooting the breeze. They just popped up a room for no reason. They got a bunch of people listening, or they've gone in and they've set up their own room in advance, like it's going to be 5 o'clock on Friday, and then they just wait and see who shows up.
So, Dave, what kind of topics would you typically see in a Clubhouse presentation?
Well, there's a lot. When you're in the hallway, and that's when you first show up at the app, you're in the hallway and you're just scrolling. It's like scrolling your feed in Facebook, right? But it'll be a topic. It'll say, I don't know, Bitcoin for millennials. And you're like, all right, I'm not into that. Let me scroll to the next one. One is female entrepreneurs, an hour power of female entrepreneurs. Oh, I like that. Click it. So it's all kinds of topics. It's business. It's lifestyle. It could be weight loss. It's really anything. Think about it, Sal. It's the world, right? So you've got, and Germany is growing big. There's a lot of Germans jumping on. So you'll see a lot of Germans talking about their businesses and their growth. Asia is on. I mean, you could be in all kinds of rooms in different languages.
So, music, marketing secrets, entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
anything that's a discipline that people are interested in learning more about. There's probably a Clubhouse presentation that's going to be set up for it.
Yeah, and there's one room that I follow called the Lullaby Room and Lullaby Club. So there's rooms, which are the rooms that I talked about. Then there's also clubs. Clubs is what you want to have, and they just open it up to anyone to start a club. Once you start the club, no one can take that name again. And if you're watching this on the Marketing Camp, we now have an official Marketing Camp club on Clubhouse. So we can host rooms under that title of Marketing
Club
Camp,
umbrella.
under the umbrella. Yeah. So I could be busy, but you could actually run something on whatever and teach people on marketing. I don't even have to be there, but it's under the same umbrella. So we're kind of building up that club, and we've got
Sure.
about 15 followers in that club right now. So it's pretty awesome. Um, the key with creating a title of a room, though, is really picking a good title. Like if you're an insurance salesman, you don't want to choose a title called, insurance talk or insurance expert talk, even though you might be an expert. You don't want to do that. You have to think of the outcome. Use the word outcome in your title. In other words, I just wrote something down here. Learn how to save over $500 a month in insurance for your business. That would be a great title. That's the outcome of someone coming into the room. They would learn how to do that.
Cool.
The,
So
the
we've
phrase is
actually
Claire beats clever. I just wanted
we've
to say that. Be
we've
clever.
actually met new prospects doing this. Am I right? I mean,
Mm.
that,
Yeah, we meet a
so
lot of
these are
people
these
on
are
there.
strangers who attended a Clubhouse talk that at the time Dave was moderating and putting on, and called us and said, "Hey, I'd like to engage you guys to help me out with my marketing."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we meet people all the time. It's unlike, if you're B2B, business to business, you should be on LinkedIn. But really now it's also Clubhouse, because on LinkedIn, the difference is you create a post, you spend all that time, you put it up, you hashtag so the right people find it, and then you sit back and go back to work and check on LinkedIn every now and then to see who commented. It's not like that. There is no posts at all on your profile. There's only one picture. It's your profile, and it's the fear of missing out. They call it FOMO. So if someone doesn't enter the room and you're speaking about how to save money or how to grow your business, grow your six-figure business to a seven-figure business in 3 months, it's FOMO, fear of missing out. If I don't enter that room, I'm
Sure.
going to miss that. I mean, it's not a post that I can read later. So it's very unlike LinkedIn, although it's similar to LinkedIn because it's great for business. I love it. I'm actually personally, if I can just share this, I think it's great. I think I spend a lot of hours. I might spend about 4 or 5 hours a week, which is very little compared to what a lot of people spend on there. They spend many, many hours. I've been in rooms that lasted 7 hours long. It's just a 7 hour long, and then the leader leaves and a moderator takes over, but they keep the topic going.
Well, it's
I've
a
left
little
a
like
room.
radio. I mean, you can put it on while you're doing something else and kind of half
Yeah.
listen and then jump in when you hear something that, hits your consciousness. But it's kind of like an interactive radio from that standpoint.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's interactive. You can guide the conversation. A podcast, you can't guide it. I mean, you listen to it. It's content on demand. Whenever I want to hear this, I could just tune in and there's my latest episode. Get the headphones on, but it's on demand. But I can't ask the podcast host, "Oh, what did you mean by that?" Because they just keep talking. They don't hear you. They recorded that 3 days ago. Where this is like a podcast, but it's live. You can raise your hand, you click your hand, you get up on stage, and you ask a question, and now you turn the conversation. It's really amazing. We have a question here from Michelle. We should do a marketing camp Clubhouse marathon in early summer. Yes, we will, Michelle. That's a good idea. Like that. I love your Guinness background. So we got like 4 minutes left. Any questions anybody have? Just ask away. Please share this because we're live for, again, 4 more minutes. But there's one thing. I follow this one woman, and she talks about how she's made $250,000 in sales in a webinar. And what she does is she creates that title, How to Make Money, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, 100,000 of it came from Clubhouse people. So she put a title and she said, I'm going to give out all this content. She gives out the content. Then she says, DM me, direct message me on Instagram with the word webinar, and I will send you a link and you can go to this webinar for free. So she does a webinar for free, which is even more content, which now you get the room full of all these Clubhouse people away from Clubhouse on a webinar, Zoom call, whatever. And then she upsells them to like $100 to go to this thing, and then they get 10% off. So she's made over $100,000 doing this, and I follow her. She's got some amazing tips.
How's the conduct been on the rooms that you've been to, Dave? Have people been behaving themselves, or are there trolls a lot of the time, or what's the deal with that?
Well, there's different cultures. I was in a room, we were talking about personal branding, and it might have been 80 people. And one guy comes up on stage, he's Asian, and his profile picture is not a picture of him. It's a logo of, it's like couch handbags, Coach couch, whatever. And
Coach, yeah.
yeah, and he's pushing that. Obviously, you go in his profile and you click on anyone's name, you can see what they sell or what they're all about. Well, in that culture, they're not about personal, like, here I am, talk to me. It's about branding, product, 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 product. And he says, what do you see wrong with my thing? And people said, well, it's not you. We do business with people, not with products. We'll buy your product, but we want to get to know you. And he got really, really mad. And he goes, well, you can't make me change my. I'm like, well, you're in Clubhouse. It's people to people. He got so mad. The guy was
We're not
trying to
making you do
explain it.
anything. You asked us.
Yeah, exactly. And it was about personal branding. And so he came in. I think he was trolling, and all of a sudden he left. The guy was talking. He just bloop, left the stage. And a lot of the Asian clubs, when you go in there, I mean, they're all speaking, Mandarin and Chinese, whatever, but you can't understand it unless you do. But all their profiles are like weird. They're like products. So it's a very different culture. When you enter Clubhouse, it's a different culture. So enough on that. People are pretty much nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what my experience has been, that everybody that I've been in a room with has been very polite and very supportive of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's good stuff. So if you want to get in, Sal and I have invites. And it looks like we are close to ending, aren't we?
yes.
30 seconds. If you have any questions on topics you'd like to see the 15 marketing guys talk about, we can do that in April. We don't have a plan yet what we're talking about, but we can do that. Talk about it.
Let us know. We're anxious to kind of break down any topic. Our specialty is kind of making this stuff understandable to business owners.
Absolutely.
Take care, Dave.
Take care, Sal. See you on Clubhouse.